thought that I was laying back. And obviously, even in laying back, was still being perceived as someone who was,
well, I think
doing.
the thing with the laying back thing is that everybody noticed that you were laying back, and it was trying to find out the reasons why and figure that out.
I understand that. I'm not saying that it worked effectively. I'm just saying, from a game standpoint, so be it. But, I don't deserve it on a personal standpoint. And as I said, so if I go out in the game, I'm the first person that would stand up and applaud people for doing something well in the game. I don't take that personally, and I would never hold it against anyone. But somehow, it's being twisted into, I'm the devil in disguise, I'm a despicable person. In my real life, I'm manipulative and despicable and calling all the shots, and in here I've been dishonest from the minute I've walked in. I didn't spend a true or genuine moment with anyone in the house. It's the furthest thing from the truth. I mean, I don't want to say anything about anybody else, but from my personal perspective, I probably shared amongst the most genuine moments of anyone, because one of the things I came in here hoping to do was build relationships with people, and on a personal level. And then, as it related to the game, of course, as well, I'm the first person, probably Joe and myself, I would be the first person to stand up and say, I openly, regardless of what I felt about anyone here, would love to keep in touch with everyone and have genuine relationships with people. I think we're bonded together by this forever. I just can't, though, take the fact that somehow in this process, it has now become like I'm some sort of piece of shit. It's the last thing I am. You ask anyone in my family, ask anyone of my friends. Up until 20 minutes ago, ask anyone in this house. That's not who I am. And I thought that you would at least, have the decency to sit down and speak with me. And I guess my plea to you is, as it not relates to the game at all, not relates to campaigning against me, as it relates to me as a human being, please don't let this happen. Don't let this be my legacy. Be happy I'm gone. Be happy if you think you made the right move, regardless of how it got from point A to point B, whether you think it's true, whether you think it's not true, whatever you said and did to make it happen. But don't let Amber sit here for the next 2 months and feel this way. Don't let your dad sit here for the next 2 months and feel this way, because I've never been anything but good to them. I've always liked them. I've always looked out for them. I would never say anything to affect their personal lives or say anything hurtful. I think you guys are going to find it funny. I don't find it funny, but you guys are going to find it funny. I say extremely kind things about everyone in the diary room. That's one of the best parts about this. Everyone has now concocted this scenario. They're going to go home and watch this show where I'm going to absolutely slaughter people. No, they're going to go home and watch a show where they say, tell me your thoughts on Jamaica. And I'm going to say, she is, sent from God, an absolute saint. I love her with all of my heart. What a kind and amazing person. And straight on down the line. Anything negative that was said, which I'm sure everyone has done, myself included, was said in the heat of the moment, at 3 a.m., after you have a fight with someone, after someone puts you in a spot that you don't think you should be in. But, I'm in a situation right now where Amber, who I was close with, Dustin as her friend, and, Jessica, who we've never made any bones about the fact that I'm obviously close with her. They won't even look at me. They won't even look at me. And I think, and I'm not holding you accountable for this, I might be the only person in the house who can separate you and your dad as two separate people. You're two separate people, and I'm not blaming you for his actions. But I feel like he has unnecessarily, set me up to take an enormous, enormous fall and it was directed at my personal character, not my gameplay, not anything else, and I didn't do the things I'm being blamed for. I don't think that a lot of these things should have ever come up or come into play, and they may have come from you, they may have come from him. I wasn't in these conversations. I can't say anything either way, but it should never be a scenario in which I'm leaving the house and people are jumping up and down, high-fiving. I never did anything to deserve that. So if that's where people's mind frame is at, then it's gone overboard in my estimation. And I don't know. That's all I can really say is that I think I'm being presented in a really unfair light, and I can only, say, your part in it comes from the fact that you are in charge this week. That's as far as I'm stating,
And if anyone in the house, Eric, you know that I know that this game has been brought to a personal level. It's unneeded and unnecessary, and it just doesn't need to be there.
Yeah.
People in this game have brought, people's personal lives into it, which have absolutely nothing to do with anything here. They don't know the real story. They're calling people out on it, and it doesn't need to be done. So honestly, on that, of all people, that I know how you feel on that. And it's not necessary. It has nothing to do, and it's not the right thing to do, because this game is not about that. And honestly, that I will talk to my dad, and I will tell him to stop doing that, because I know how it feels, and it's not.
On that note, and I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No worries.
But, I heard the laundry list of accusations and things I've done or whatever, and take it for what it's worth. When I stood up there on Thursday and defended you, I defended you because she crossed the line with someone that I was friends with and someone I cared about, not because I had planned ahead of time. Well, if Jen happens to say something, mean-spirited towards Danielle, I'll play the hero and I'll jump out and it'll look great and it'll cover up my 5 secret alliances and it'll get me on the ins with this one and that one or whatever. No. In fact, I was pacing the sidelines because I was so disgusted that I left you and Jessica up there to fight our collective battle. Now, I understand you guys are incredibly strong. I'm not taking anything away from you. I'm not saying otherwise. But I was left the two of you up there when I should have been up there with you. And I was absolutely devastated by the fact that I did that to you guys. I stood in front of Jessica for a good half an hour trying to encourage her and encourage you as well, of course. And when she said those things, it pushed me over the edge. You weren't in a position to fight back at that point. Your dad's voice only means so much. He doesn't have any sort of a relationship with Jen whatsoever. He's yelled at her 1,000,000 times, and he's your dad. Of course he's going to defend you. I thought to myself at that time, she's not in a position to defend herself. His word will only go so far in this situation. If no one else is going to do it, I am. And you want to know what? There was a very large chance that Jen or Kale would have won. They had, a 66% chance, and they were both looking just as comfortable as you were. And, sorry, I stood up and said those things from me being me, and I would have been nominated if one of them won, regardless of the alliance I allegedly have. I assure you, it wouldn't have been you. It would have been your dad and me. And I think of anything I heard this week, that hurt me the most, because that was yet another example of me having nothing to do with the game, being myself and being true and being me, and it was being used against me. And it was being used against me by the people that should have been most appreciative of it.
But honestly, Eric, you can take it for what it is.